It's amazing when I hear it's 800 years ago.
We're going to Lincoln because we got to see all like the real Magna Carta.
I'm Adam Strickson and I'm the drama worker and scriptwriter working on the project and pulling it together. The idea of the project is to try and link the history of the Magna Carta, especially obviously in this year, with what human rights mean, what freedom means, what justice means now for young people, and what their statements that they can have to make about that on film and in drama and in writing.
I am Paris Trivet. I am from Youth Council. I wanted to do this project because I'm interested in history and I wanted to learn something new.
I'm Rhys Parry. I'm from Horizon Community College, and I've decided to put myself into this project and get involved because I find it an interesting project to do, as it's 800th anniversary of Magna Carta, and I don't really know much about it, so I'd like to know much about it and what's happened to make it so important.
I've enjoyed the looking at different artifacts and where they've come from and how what they're made of, what they used to do in the times when they were being made.
Pretty much all I know so far is that in 1215 he got King John or James he got forced to sign it, but he didn't stick to it for very long. He only stuck to it for about 6 months. As soon as I walked in, I really didn't know nothing about it, but I've looked at all the documents and all the things that's been in them, and it's interested me a lot and it's made me learn more about Barnsley in the past centuries.
I really enjoyed looking at the papers and feeling the material and what they're made out of.
I'm most looking forward to actually finishing the banners and showing them to other people.
It makes me think about more rights, how it's changed from when Charter was signed to today.
I think it's amazing when you see it's 800 years ago, and it was really unconventional for the time. And then, but the values of Magna Carta, the ideas in Magna Carta, are still meaningful for us in the 21st century. The ideas of freedom and justice.
I've learned that Magna Carta has a lot of words on the actual document. We've also learned about the different things, like when it was signed by King John, and that it was his son who actually redid it all. I've also enjoyed going to Lincoln. I enjoyed looking at the castle wall and stuff. I've made some new friends. I enjoyed the experience and the project, really fun.
And I think the thing that I enjoyed the most is definitely the printing and the trip to Lincoln.
My highlight of the project is to go into Lincoln and visiting the prison, because when I was in the prison I had this weird feeling that something amazing happened there.
I really enjoyed the Lincoln Castle visit, and also when we saw the Magna Carta itself. But I really liked the NUM visit, because whenever I passed the Victoria Road, I never realised behind those walls that there was such a massive and amazing building with those banners, which are really important to the history of our region.
I also enjoyed putting the drama piece together and creating it to educate people and let them know how much we've learnt about the Magna Carta by teaching them about it.
My name is Chris Brammer. I'm Community Enterprise Coordinator for Year 10 here at Horizon Community College. That basically involves me engaging with the community, getting the community in our school so students can work with a wide variety of people that they wouldn't usually work with in the curriculum. It's really important for us as a college to engage in projects like this, because it's so out of the ordinary. We wouldn't do anything like this when students are in normal everyday lessons, but it's also really important because this project specifically has allowed the students to follow their own personal history and look back in their immediate family and see how some of the issues that we've been discussing have affected their own personal history.
If I were an animal, I'd be a Komodo dragon because it's fiery venom and pierces the heart.
A subject in which it's past tense, because women, no, it is, because women in the early 1900s and late 1800s, they fought for rights.
The 1960s. He's asking us barons for money, money and more money. So you kind of agree, yes. That's your favourite line. After all. And freedom.
And justice. We should be able to vote at 16. You tell them, Holly. I will. Show them the film.
I believe we should vote at 16 because our future you are deciding.
I think they've engaged in a very lively way. With both groups, it's quite a maverick group of young people. You wouldn't say it was like a typical cross-section, because they're quite eccentric and not always easy to handle, I think it can be said, because they are different ages, they've got different agendas, different politics indeed. So there's been some really lively discussions about party politics, as well as about the history, and as well as about the words like union, like solidarity, like rights, like justice, like monarchy even. So part of the investigation has been to get them engaged with something that isn't naturally perhaps their language of today, and to connect their own concerns with the more formal language that comes from the Magna Carta, which is the language of law throughout the world, really.
Because there's too many at the moment.
You don't need your scripts, do you?
Don't worry, King John will catch them.
I'm the Baron and I say we can't let King John keep doing us over. We won't stand for it.
More money for his stupid war in France.
And now is the summer of the year 1215, and we the barons have been made angry.
Very, very angry.
Your mess, our future.
Freedom is an illusion.
Positive things to do with your initials.
It's an equal chance.
Ali Khosravi, adorable inspiration.
No reason.
Shut it.
I've completely lost it.
I've completely lost it.
I've got steam coming out of my ears.
We've been made angry by this spendthrift, yet this no good man This useless King John,
Not me.
this wastrel,
No.
this numpty, this really annoying person who's fighting a war in France and keeps asking us barons for money,
Well, you've got plenty.
money, and more money. World, I'll give everyone human rights.
Dominika Kołodziejska, dynamic charisma.
That means
Working together, just like the Musketeers. All for one, one for all.
So know all that bit, get on with the story.
now is the summer of the year 1215, and we the barons have been made angry.
Very, very angry.
No. So what's been happening to the Magna Carta in the past 800 years?
I've learnt that it's still relevant nowadays and that people still talk about it, and it will always be a thing what people will talk about.
I like learning about how much influence it has in today's life, about how it affects America and things like that. That something over 800 years old still has a lot of influence and a lot of good influence over our country, over our world.
The most memorable bit about this project is just the experience itself, because it's something new that I've never done before, and to say I had no knowledge of what I did at the start of this project, and to say I've learned so much about Magna Carta.
The impact for our pupils has been absolutely tremendous. When I look at the students who started the project, we had such a wild variety of characters. We not only had drama students, but we had historians, we had sociologists, students who weren't necessarily involved in performance. When I look at it now, after we finished everything, the students are so much more confident, they're happy to speak out, whereas at the start they might not have been happy to speak amongst peers. They're now happy to perform, speak their ideas.
I certainly feel from my point of view that they are more articulate than when we started, that they are better able to voice their own concerns, but to voice their own concerns in an informed way, which has been informed by this particular bit of history that we're celebrating this month in June, 800 years since the Magna Carta.
Splendiferous serpent. If I were an animal, I'd be a Komodo dragon because its fiery venom pierces the heart like I do when I speak my truths. When I change the world, I'll create chaos because chaos is a ladder to success and freedom.
Holy Moffat, holy magnificent. If I were a colour, I'd be burgundy, as it defines my underlying anger. When I change the world, I'll make sure everyone has a decent living wage and an access to an education.
Danny Hanlon, destructive hero. If I were an animal, I'd be a magical unicorn because they represent peace and mystery. When I change the world, I'll make sure young people's voices get heard.
Rhys Parry, respectable person. If I were a colour, I'd be orange to show people how bright I am. When I change the world, I'll give everyone human rights.
Dominika Kołodziejska, dynamic charisma. If I were an animal, I'd be a cat for the cunningness and control. When I change the world, I will make sure that everyone has an equal chance.
Lucy Hudson, amazing human. If I were chocolate, I'd be Aero Bubbles because I'm really bubbly. When I change the world, I'll get rid of class systems.
Ali Khosravi, adorable inspiration. If I were a colour, I would be a light green because it's a reminder of hope. When I change the world, I will bring public health instead of private wealth.
We want our rights! 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 We want our rights!
Police everywhere, justice nowhere.
How we dress does not mean yes!
No one is fearless, everyone is free.
Our rights, our future.
The freedom is just an illusion.
End injustice!
Your mess, our future.
We want our rights! 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 We want our rights!
Freedom!
Justice!
Oi, oi, oi! What is going on? I thought this was about me, King John and the Magna Carta. That's where your stupid idea from human rights comes from after all.
And freedom.
And justice.
We want the right to vote at 16.
You tell them, Ollie.
I will. Play the recording.
No, wait! This is supposed to be about the Magna Carta.
Get back in your box.
No.
Back in the box.
I don't want to.
Get back in the box.
Fine.
This is me saying why we should have the right to vote at 16.
I believe we should have voted at 16 because it's our future you are deciding. You say we're not mature enough, yet we're allowed to drive cars, we're allowed to go to war. We can bring a child into this world but can't decide what world it goes into. A lot of people at 18 have already subscribed to university and paid the amount of their fees. That accounts to a lot of debt. They've already decided which way they want to go in life, what career they want to go down, yet they haven't been able to decide whether or not that career has any worth in this society. A lot of people can vote in Europe at 16, and the Welsh Assembly, as does the Northern Ireland Assembly, both support it. Why can't we just vote at 16? Because it's our future. It's up to us. It should be up to us. It's mostly a lot of young people, 20-year-olds and such, don't vote now because they believe they have no difference. But if you make people believe their worth, believe that their voice actually counts, give them to 16-year-olds believing their voice actually counts. They're going into this adult world being told that they should go and grow up and be mature, yet they can't decide a single thing for themselves.
Right, enough! That is totally irrelevant. I thought this was about the Magna Carta. Look, you're all not even in the right clothes. That naughty girl's words have nothing more to do with the Magna Carta than a peasant's breath after a good badger stew. Aha. Tell them about chuffing barons. That's why we're all here after all.
Kick him!
No. We should make him see the connection. Make them out there see the connection. Look, we could be the barons.
Barons! 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 Barons!
And we could force King John to sign the Magna Carta. Let's get him.
Get the bonnet! Right, I'm a baron and I've had enough.
I'm a baron, I say this can't go on.
I'm a baron, I say we can't let King John keep doing us over.
We won't stand for it.
More money for a stupid war in France.
Another BMW Sage engine.
Another set of Maserati longbows.
More money for stuffing his face and boozing.
That reminds me. I am hungry. Excuse me, peasants coming through. Yes, something you can't afford. Food. Lovely.
Pears and cider, peaches and beer.
Cumberland sausages, prize-winning pork pies, chicken thighs, slow-cooked Norwegian elk.
What? Norwegian elk?
Oh, I was getting carried away. He eats everything.
Of course I do. It's beautiful.
Told you.
Now get on with the story.
Now is the summer of the year 1250.
800 years ago.
They know all that bit. Get on with it.
Now is the summer of the year 1215, and we, the barons, have been made angry.
Very, very angry.
No reason, no reason.
Shut it, you.
How dare you? I am the king. Carry on with the story anyway. Come on.
We've been made angry by this spendthrift, this no-good man, this useless King John who's fighting a war in France, this really, really annoying person who keeps asking us barons for money, 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 and more money.
I'm a baron and I've had enough. We can't let him do this.
We won't stand for it. We're sick of it. We're up to here with it. We're not going to let him get away with it, and it's not on.
These kings have too much power. Much too
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I have a divine right.
I get my power directly from God.
If your power's from God, then I'm a tufted duck.
Quack, quack.
Right, you.
I'm angry because he keeps taking my money. I'm angry because I'm going to lose my land because of him.
I'm angry because I've had enough of having to pay for his stupid war.
I'm angry because I want some basic rights.
And some freedom.
I'm angry because that scum from Kent keeps taking all the fish from the river next to my land.
What?
Just saying, if it's supposed to be a long document, like 4,000 words or something, so please, can we put no fish weirs in there?
Okay, alright.
No fish weirs! No fish weirs! No fish weirs!
Death to fish weirs.
What's a weir?
Oh my god.
It's like a trap across the river.
Oh.
How about all fish weirs shall remove from the Thames and the Medway and throughout all England?
Yeah. So we'll put no fish weirs into the Magna Carta and we'll make bad King John sign it. Right here, please. Back of the shed.
We called the Great Charter the Magna Carta, and it was the beginning of the right to
freedom, justice, freedom, justice, freedom, justice, freedom, justice, freedom, justice.
Thank you. Are we ready? Yeah. Go on. Good afternoon. This is Ali Khosrawi, reporting for Barnsley Magna Carta Project TV, reporting on what influence that piece of sheepskin has had on all our lives in the past 800 years. The Magna Carta changed history, not only in the UK, but also all over the world. It was the first time someone had set a limit on the power of an English monarch.
Boo!
And he believed his power was from God, so no one could interfere with it.
I do have a divine right. God pinpointed me as king. You know, I do not know where these peasants get the idea from. Who are they to question me? They're all hurrah Henrys, if you ask me.
Shut it.
Yeah.
Moving on. So what's been happening to the Magna Carta in the past 800 years? What exactly is the legacy of this great charter? Why do so many acknowledge it as the foundation of British democracy? The document was ignored by kings and queens until Edward Coke, the member of the first English Parliament, challenged Charles I, accusing him of an abuse of power. In 1776, the US Declaration of Independence declared that all men are created equal, and Thomas Jefferson incorporated our magnificent Magna Carta into the American Constitution. Then, in 1793, Liberté, Égalité and Fraternité were declared by the French revolutionaries. And in 1911, the House of Commons finally managed to pass the Parliament Act, severely limiting the power of the House of Lords.
Boo! Barons! 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 Barons!
Be quiet, please. And also, this is being broadcast Barnsley-wide. And also, as a journalist, my only choice is being a truthful voice. And there is more, much more. In 1948, the United Nations Human Rights Committee, led by Eleanor Roosevelt, passed a new Magna Carta for all humanity, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Then the Iron Curtain fell. The apartheid ended in South Africa. Women became priests and bishops of the Church of England. And in 2014, this Pakistani schoolgirl, Malala, won the Nobel Peace Prize. Would all this have happened without that scrap of sheepskin we call the Magna Carta? That's the big question we are asking today in Barnsley. How exactly did the Magna Carta become the most influential piece of document, not only in the British history, but also in the history of the world? I'll leave you with this Magna Carta for today. Democracy is about giving power to the powerless, being a voice for the voiceless, and inspiring hope for the hopeless. Be the light of intelligence in the darkness of negligence. And now, using the magic that is drama, we return to the signing of the Magna Carta on 15th of June, 1215, 800 years ago.
Well, it limits the power of the king. and said he couldn't raise taxes without the consent of the barons at a formal meeting. And it grants some freedoms to the low classes.
Excuse me, let me read that. It says that no free man shall be seized or imprisoned, or stripped of his rights or possessions, or outlawed or exiled, nor will we proceed with force against him, except by the lawful judgment of his equals or by the lord of the land. To no one we will sell, to no one delay right or justice. What a lot of rubbish! They made me sign it. It was brute force, you know. I would never sign such rubbish.
You're not the king anymore. Take the crown off.
No, I don't want to take crown off. It's best part.
You're not king anymore. Get over it. You can go back to being Benton.
Fine.
The crown.
Oh.
Thank you.
So, copies of the Magna Carta were made to send all over England. L1 ended up at Lincoln Castle. So we went to Lincoln Castle.
You got a free chip on a Sunday.
But bus driver got a bit lost.
I don't think you would even got a tom-tom.
Anyway, when we got there, those men stood outside of the gates with pikes. Jack had his pitch taken with them. They lent him his sword, and then we saw
the separate chapel where they kept the prisoners apart.
And the garden of the graveyard where the people who were executed in prison were. There was just the initials and the date of death.
We went to the shop. I bought myself a Magna Carta and some sweets.
Then we went up a steep, narrow staircase, and I got stuck. We went to Tesco's to get some sandwiches, though they ended up being wraps. This hill going back up was real steep.
It was St. George's Day, wasn't it?
We saw lots of scouts, brownies and rainbows marching.
I saw a man on a horse trying to cut a cabbage in half with a blade on the end of a stick.
Then he did something with an apple.
I think we went down to the vault and we watched a short film about the Magna Carta and about how King John was forced to sign it.
And then we saw the Magna Carta in a glass case.
I was surprised such a massive idea was written on a piece of sheepskin.
But it's still there at Lincoln Castle.
Then we went to the NUM.
National Union of Mine Workers.
And it was hailing.
We went for a KFC first.
We had to wait outside because there was no one there.
But then I found a man in the garage at the back.
So they unlocked the door and let us in.
It was
real.
Grand.
Amazing.
Unlike anything I've ever seen.
Mystifying. I look back into the ages.
Almost regal, like an old banquet hall ready to be inhabited.
And there were
loads of us, all with our KFCs.
A decorated ceiling.
Banners full of magnificent artwork showing the strike.
A really elaborate banners.
Majestic banners with powerful messages.
Endorsing the mining community.
We all sat down at the front, but then we had to get up.
Then Holly picked up the microphone.
Jack turned up late.
There were messages from the Soviet Union.
Reese brought the microphone. He thought it was antique.
There were these gold and red banners there.
And blue.
Banners with words on them like...
Unity.
That means...
Togetherness, just like the Musketeers. All for one and one for all.
Yeah, togetherness.
Strength.
People standing together.
Union.
That means...
People who work together to achieve something.
A togetherness of people.
The coming together of people.
Socialism.
That means...
Friendship and unity.
Action for the people, for their rights and values. People believing they have a social and moral responsibility to make sure everyone is treated fairly.
Justice.
That means... rightful punishment or reward where it is due.
Getting what you deserve.
One rule for us, another for them. Ensuring what is right is done, punishment or reward.
Someone paying for their actions.
Solidarity.
That means
agreement,
stable foundation,
fight the good fight, stand shoulder to shoulder,
a will to drive and succeed as one,
making something happen together.
But they didn't, did they? That's why it was sad at the NUM. They lost the strike and it was finished. The mine's closed. Now all mining is those banners in a room in Victoria Road, Barnsley.
Mining was really hard work. Really, really hard work. But it was work, and community, and all of life. My great-granddad.
What about your great-granddad?
He walked all the way from Ireland just to work in the pits at Grindthorpe. My other great-granddad lost 3 fingers down there. My other granddad worked down there as well. He went striking with my uncle. My mother watched them. Because of mining, he had a stroke.
My great-uncle worked in the pits. He lost 3 fingers on the belt, sorting.
My dad, my uncle and my granddad used to go striking every day. My dad and uncle were really young, so they had nothing else to fall back on.
My friend's dad got knocked over by a horse. He wasn't even a miner.
My great-granddad worked down the pit. It was sort of tradition back then. But one day we're coming down the shaft and the cable snapped. He fell a few feet, but he were okay until he looked up. The cable came crashing down and gashed his face.
My uncle was on one of the banners at the NUM, and my granddad worked at steelworks. It's all connected, there's no steel without coal.
Well, my granddad was a miner back in the day. He worked hard for his pay and hated the fact of that Thatcher closing pits.
But that strike, it was ages ago.
1985, 30 years ago.
And now it's 2015, 800 years since the signing of the Magna Carta.
Well, I think we should go on strike because
I'm angry about racism.
I'm angry about hypocrites and judgmental people.
I'm angry about political injustice. I'm angry about the misinformation and secrecy of the government and our media.
I'm angry about the misunderstanding of mental health.
I'm angry because there's that saying, do as I say, not as I do.
I'm angry about the world full of corruption and greed.
I'm angry about authorities abusing their power to lessen us down.
Strike, 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 strike,
Hang on. We may be angry, but what about people who don't have basic human rights? What about that girl? The one that won the Nobel Peace Prize? Malala Yousafzai.
That's her, the girl from Pakistan.
Even after all those years, she still had no basic rights.
Around the world, 66 million children are deprived of their education. For most, education is taken for granted, but to some it's a mere dream. When children should be at school, learning algebra equations and scientific formulas, instead they are pushed into arranged marriages and hard labour.
Girls in Pakistan are deprived of their right to education. Their freedom is taken from them, forcing them to fight for it. One brave girl even took a bullet to the head for the sake of a basic human right.
Malala Yousafzai was that girl. So, why do you think that education is so important?
Because I believe that us children are the future. And I believe to progress in society, we need to learn about our society so that we can take over in our adult life.
You risk so much for a right to education, for people to learn things that they never could have imagined of. You even took a bullet to the head, but you got back up and you fought. What pushes you to do this?
Because I believe that I survive for a purpose. And my purpose is to fight for an education on behalf of the 66 million girls who are also in my position, in my country.
So, what would you say to someone that's preventing you from getting that education?
I would say this. Let this be the last time that a child has to work in a factory. Let this be the last time that a child is forced into an early age marriage. Let this be the last time that we see a child outside of school. Let this be the last time that a boy or a girl loses their life to war. Let's begin this ending. Right here, right now, together, today. Let us end with this beginning. Thank you so much.
Let this be the last time that a child spends their childhood in a factory.
Let this be the last time that a girl is forced into early child marriage.
Let this be the last time a child loses life in war.
Let this be the last time that we see a child outside of school.
Let this end with us.
Let's end this now. Right here, right now, together, today. Let's begin this ending now.
Thank you all so much.